Welcome back, everybody. If you watched the last video I did, we was talking about Arctic clothing and how to wear it and what works. In this video, I'm going to show you how to pack your gear. Pack it for flying on a plane. So I'm going to base everything we're doing in this video on our trip. It could come in handy for you on your adventures. But what I'm going to do is go through equipment today, how to pack it. Now, it's a bit of a problem packing because you've got a lot of gear to take to the Arctic. You think about all your clothing, your tents, your log stoves, your sleeping bags. All your gear's got to fit in 2 duffel bags and your hand luggage. So I'm going to start off by emptying all my spare gear out of these bags. I'm going to lay it out and go through what I take. It's very important to check your gear as you're doing this. I said in the last video I'm going to go through and check some equipment, you know, my mucklucks, my snowshoes. It turns out these snowshoes now are broken. They've just gone brittle over time. You know, modern synthetic materials, rubber and stuff, it can go brittle over time, and it's broke off now in 2 places. I have repaired these previously and I got away with it on the last trip, but they're too far gone now and I cannot afford for these to break when I'm out in the Arctic, because I won't be able to get out of there if I need to in an emergency. So I've ordered a new set of these. I'm going to repair these, but I'm going to get a new set. I'm not taking any chances. Not with logistics. As you can see, we've got quite a lot of equipment here, you know. I think the best way, what works best for me to pack, is to start off with your hand luggage. Think about what weight you can put in your hand luggage and how big that actual pack can be. You can get quite a lot in and it can save you space in your duffel bags. Also, something to consider is what are you allowed to take on that plane in your carry-on luggage. You know, in your hold luggage you can take axes, knives, stuff like that. But in your carry-on luggage, obviously you can't. You can't take cordage either because safety reasons, tying up people and things like that. So these things you need to think about. So hand luggage, think about things that can help you on your journey. We're having a long layover in Helsinki and I'm thinking I might want to get my head down for a bit, have some sleep. So it's worth me taking my inflatable mattress, my light down sleeping bag, and maybe some bulky items, you know, things that are a bit heavy. Like my muckluck boots, for example, they could go in my hand luggage if I want. So I had to come in my man cave today because there's no way my wife will let me do this in the dining room. It's just not big enough for this type of thing. Well, this is handy. It's a big enough space to get everything out, at least to show you. Right, we put everything on a roll-up toboggan. That's how we transport our stuff once we're there. Now, these roll-up toboggans you can make yourself. We'll go into that later on. I'm going to be taking a log stove as well. I've got a fold-up log stove, but I've also got some stovepipe sections there. It does come with a roll-up chimney, but to save time, I bought these lightweight sections just so it's easier for me. So things that can go in my hand luggage, I'll get them out of the way now. I've got my X-bed down-filled inflatable air mattress. These can go directly on the snow. These are great. They'd be a great bit of kit, to be honest. Recommend them. Also, it's a good idea to take a foam synthetic mat. You know, the little old-fashioned roll-up mats. They're a must, really, because if this pops or gets burnt, I've got a backup plan. Plus, I can put down the foam mat first and put this on top, giving me more insulation. And also, it prevents punches, you know. So get this sleep mat in there. My big down jacket might as well go in there. I'm just going to loosely pack it for now. I'll pack it properly once I've got all the kit together. So I'm using 2 sleeping bags. Big down sleeping bag mountain equipment. And I have this UK Hammocks lightweight summer sleeping bag that will go inside the down bag. Don't leave that in the airport, it's a bit hardcore. Be too warm. But this lighter bag, might be able to get some good sleep with this. That can go in the bag. My muckluck boots, They can go in there. So now already, just by using hand luggage, I've freed up so much space, you know. Probably just leave it as that, as it is now, because I can get my passport in there and maybe some drinks and a few other items, but I don't want to pack it too much because I've got to get other stuff in it. I've made some modifications over the last few days to this. This is a Romanian army rucksack from around the 1970s. Really good, cheap to buy. But what I've done is I've made a roll top for it out of wax canvas. You can roll it up, and it's mainly to keep the snow out of the pack, you know. I've also added a small pocket on the front just for putting a few items in. Because once I get to my destination, I'll probably put a fire kit in there or something like a snow marker, you know, a high-vis snow marker. So yeah, that's my hand luggage sorted out. For the two hold luggage bags, I've gone for these OEX bags. 120 litres each, okay? So, what I suggest you do first, before anything, is load this with your toboggan rolled up. The reason we do that, we can put stuff inside the toboggan, and the baggage handlers who throw bags around and damage all your gear, you know, you've got less chance of them damaging what's inside the toboggan. Use it like a hard case, you know, if you want to put cameras in there, or I'm going to put, you know, sensitive equipment in there, stuff that can get damaged. Even my billy can. Because every time I go on a trip, if I don't put it inside my roll-up toboggan, I end up with a squashed billy can. So stuff like that, put inside the toboggan. My large, I think it's Pathfinder billy can. If you don't want to buy one of these, or use one of these, get yourself an old bean can, and you can use that. But in here I have a little cook set as well. And it's a Trangia Mini. It's got a little, you know, the Swedish meth stoves inside. And I've got a cooking pot and a bit of a frying pan there. That's handy. Most of the cooking we do is communal anyway, but I've got a little bit of something for myself. So I'm going to slip that in, like so. But it's a good idea to put a plug at the other end to stop things falling out. So put something in, like something soft. Let's go for some boot liners perhaps. So I can just plug the end with these boot liners. We talked about these in my previous video, so I'm not going to go into too much about clothing. I have my spare pack boot liners. They can go in there. You know, the dry conditions, snowy dry conditions, the time of year we're going, if it was wet conditions, I would make sure everything was in dry bags. But this is fine for this type of year. Softy suit trousers maybe, pop it in. Get your billy can in, push it in. And now I'm going to go for these stovepipes. Now, a good idea, like with my snow shovel here, the handle comes off. Slip this inside and you're taking up less room, you know? Pop that in. I have a bendy section of stovepipe here because my stove, it goes out of the side of my tent at the end. And it goes at an angle. So I have a tarp over it as well for snow build-up. This is the log stove I take. Quickly show you this. But it folds out. You know, it all folds up and all fits in here. But again, this could get damaged, you know, with the baggage handlers. You want to make sure that components like this that are vital, if you haven't got this, your stove's not going to work. So you've got to make sure it's not going to get squashed. So it's a good idea to put this inside the toboggan as well. Once you get to your destination, you take your toboggan out, you can repack your gear to suit you. You know, this is purely just to fly it there in the safest way possible. But once you're there and take your toboggan out, You can get your tent on top ready. You can even set up your log stove and sit it on top of your toboggan. You know, so it's just less to do when you get there. It's all about, you know, getting it there without it getting damaged. That's the main thing. You don't want to get there and all your kit's no good to use. Rips in your tarps and stuff like that's going to be no good, is it? Stuff like your axes, saws, knives, you know. This is a little lightweight axe sheath I made just purely for trips like this where I can't take my leather one because it's just too bulky. But it just keeps everything nice, you know. That can be slipped in. At this stage, it's a good idea to weigh your bags. You know, the travelling weighing scales you can get. Just weigh it. You're allowed up to 23 kilograms in each bag. Yeah? So what you want to do is weigh it about this stage. See, are you going to get away with putting more heavy stuff in? Because you want to divide the weight between the two bags, really. For example, I've got all this heavy gear in here now. I need to start putting a bit more lightweight gear in, maybe some clothing and stuff. In my other bag, I could have my tent, say, snowshoes, stuff like that. I'm going to start stuffing things in to all the gaps. You know, any little bit of space, if I can get something lightweight in there, I will do. You know? It's like my mittens, they can go in there. And it just holds everything together nicely, you know? So, apart from flasks, we use flasks obviously because it stops the water from freezing, you know. We also take with us normal metal water bottles. These you can put on the log stove or next to the fire, or even hang it above the fire with this clever device that was in here, but it's not anymore. It has like a little clip that goes in the top of the bottle and you can hang it on the fire. I don't know where that's gone. But anyway, you can also use this as a hot water bottle. You know, slip it back in the holster. Put some hot water in it. Not boiling hot, you know, hot water. Put it in your sleeping bag. You can even use these to dry out your boots, you know, drop them in your boot liners, things like that. Well, these are a good bit of kit. The problem is with these is the baggage handlers can damage them, dint them and split them open and stuff. So you want to try and put things in where they're not going to get crushed. So this is going to go in the middle of some softer stuff now. I've got no more room in the toboggan, so I'm going to put this in the middle of some softer stuff and build up round it. Maybe my snow trousers can go around it. This is a flask I take. I have made a sheepskin holster for it. Just helps to keep it from freezing and, you know, keeps it hotter for longer. You can also use this if you want to drop things like your mobile phone in or camera equipment or put batteries in and things like that, you know, to help keep them warm. Maybe drop a hand warmer in there as well. That helps. But, you know, because you're basically in a desert, because a desert's measured by the rainfall it has. That's what defines a desert. That's what you're in. You've always got water on you, you know. And it's important to drink often because when you're breathing air in, your body's putting moisture into that air so that you can take it in your lungs. And every time you breathe out, like now, you can see on my breath, you're losing moisture. So you need to drink a lot of water in the Arctic. A good trick as well, if you're worried if you're drinking enough, look at your urine when you go to the toilet. And if it's a dark brown colour, you know, you're in trouble. Well, you're not in trouble, but you need to start drinking more, you know. Things can go wrong. Hydration. And if you're not hydrated, you're not thinking straight. So a flask is a definite must. You know, those energy powders, you know, the military energy powders, and Gatorade, things like that, stuff what you can get in powder form, you know, take that with you and you've got a nice warm energy drink. Failing that, you can drink your pine needle tea. Let's get this in there. In fact, that's going to go in the other pack because that's just going to get damaged there. I'll put this fire lighting kit in there. I good size first aid kit. We have a big first aid kit for the team, but we all have an individual first aid kit. It's too much to go into about this. This is another video again, but there's stuff in here, you know, like dressings that actually help your blood clot and things like that, which you've got to be careful using those, you know. So I'm not going to go into that because I'm not medically trained to do so. But yeah, first aid kit's going in. High-vis first aid kit. So I said in the previous video, wear your bulky clothing on the plane. This is why we're doing that, because you're just not going to fit it in your pack at all. So think about what you can wear. You don't want to wear it all because you're just going to be sweating. But the wool trousers I can wear, the big wool jumper, I'll pack the small wool jumper, the buffalo I'll pack, snow smock I'll pack, my Ushanka I'll pack, but my other lightweight hat I'll wear going. You know, I could probably squeeze a few more items in my hand luggage if I was struggling for space. So this is a mock run. This is just me packing to show you how to get the gear in, you know, into your bags. But after I've done this video, everything will come back out again. I'll try and get things in dry bags, rearrange it, you know, pack things down tighter. Get like my furs and stuff inside these, you know, waterproof buoyancy kit bags. But yeah, all the soft stuff now, you just squeeze into the gaps. Just keep squeezing everything in. You know, balaclavas and neck buffs, all that can go in. See, there's still some room in there now. You've got all these little nooks and crannies here. So I've got this sit mat, which is handy. You know, I could open this up and just put it on the side. It takes up hardly any room there now. And it protects the bag a little bit from banging. The good thing about down sleeping bags is they do crush down quite a lot. It's not a good idea to store them compressed, but you know, this might actually fit in if I just give it some welly. Just get it in there. Right, there we go. Still a little bit of room around these sides here we could use. We're starting to think, what can we get in there? I've got this microfiber towel, neck buff can go in. What else have I got? Possum fur hat. In fact, that can go in my hand luggage. I'm just going to close this bag up for now. I've still got space to put stuff in, but I'm going to just close it up. Just get rid of this tag. That's from my last trip. I'm just going to close it up because I want to just feel the weight of it in my hands. The good thing about these bags as well, you can leave them outside your shelter, you know, with stuff that you're not using in. The snow can go on top of them or whatever, or you can put a tarp up. But I'm just going to feel the weight of that now. Yeah, that feels like I'm probably fully loaded there now. I might have to take a little bit of a weight out and put it in the other bag, but I'll weigh it later on. Put that to one side. I've got bag number 2 now. Get rid of that tag. Right, just get the junk out of here. Right, I've got all this space now, and I've managed to cram as much as I can in this bag. So even if this bag's a bit looser, it doesn't matter. It just means it's easier for me to pack. When we get there, we'll get our food from the supermarket. We'll walk from the airport, pull our toboggans, pull into the supermarket and get our food. And, you know, whether I take a market wallet or another bag just to pop it in, you know, we might do that. This is a good feature. This is a little dry area, or wet area if you like. If you've got wet clothes or anything like that, you can just stuff them in here and it keeps the rest of your bag dry. Also, if you're out snowshoeing, pulling your toboggan or moving camp, you can put stuff in there like fire tinder, maybe a bit of food and stuff like that, and it's just a bit more easier to access than going through the top of the bag. Yeah, because this is a loose guide today, it's, you know, I'm not going into too much detail. I'm just showing you the best way to get your kit in to save room. Now I haven't put this tent away tightly. I've just loosely ravelled it up after the last camp I was on. I could get this down to probably half that size with a bit of persuasion. But I'm just gonna put it in as it is just for now. This was a Christmas present. One Tigris Pro Taurus or something. It's a tarp tent. It's basically a synthetic version of the tent I made. It's like a baker tent, and the front of it lifts up. So I thought this would go well with my tent to go over the top of it to shed the snow and extend the shelter. I've got a bag of clothing here. Pop that in. The end of my snow shovel can go on top like that. Put my flask in the middle where it's less likely to get damaged. I've got a few items here that I need to sort out and pack properly, but I have one of these bowls, which is handy. Put a cord on it, you can hang it up off your shelter, and it's just great for your hand won't stick to it. And I've got a washing bowl here that I'm going to use for collecting snow. Got a ton of bank line, you know, cordage. These are for my other snow goggles. They don't need to go in there, actually. What's in here? Some batteries and things. I'll have to go through all this again. Yeah. These are ice fangs. So when you're doing an ice crossing, so if you're doing an ice crossing, these go around your neck, and if you fall through the ice, you can stab your way out of the water with these because you're not getting out without them. You can use your knife and things like that, but they're going to be on your belt. These are around your neck, straight away, you know. They're retractable, so they've got like a spike with a retractable tube over the top of them for safety. You know, they're not digging into your clothes or anything. But yeah, these are a very good thing to take. Failing that, if you can't get hold of any, but you can because they're dead cheap off Amazon. I think they're only about £4 off Amazon. You can make some. This is some hazel and some old nails I've glued in, and I had some cord on these, and these are what I had previous to those ice fangs. But I won't be taking these. I'll take the modern ones, to be honest. Yeah, so I've got miscellaneous items here. Stick them in this old drying bag, which can hang up in your tent as well. You know, spatula. I've got my spoons to come in here. Oh, there's that little hanger for the water bottle. You know, I've got these little pouches with stuff in. Sewing kit. Spare whistle. That's for my lamp. We'll go into that when we get the lamps out. A little soft case there. Probably use that for batteries and stuff at a later date. Don't really need that because I have my Swiss Army knife with me. But these containers, these washing up bowls here, these are great. They just go flat. You know, that can go in here if I want. You know, I can just pop it in there, zip that up. You know, you've got this storage as well. But yeah, we can slip things in here and there and everywhere. Obviously, I'm going to be packing this again. This is just a loose guide to show you, you know, what actually you can get in these bags and the best way to do it. Right. I just got, that's not coming with me, that rab tarp. I don't need that. Don't think I need my Jervins bag. I think I'll take my sit mat I made because it turns into a pillow. It'd just be something nice to put on the snow. Make a nice pillow. Or somewhere to put my feet when I'm changing my socks and stuff like that. Always handy to have things like that. Right, that's not looking too bad, that. I've still got to get these items in. Snow goggles, my mucket cup. You can get these off a website called Civil War Sutlers, and they're based on an old Civil War military brew can, if you like. Really handy to have for all your soups and drinks. It fits on my log stove. I can hang it on the fire. Obviously, I don't want to be drinking out of a metal cup all of the time because my lips can stick to it. But inside a tent or next to the fire, it's fine. That's got to go in, and I don't want to get that damaged. Yeah, so I made this little leather cover for it. A good idea, I think, would be to take this bail arm off and swap it out for some wire. In fact, you know, because it is bulky, it's a lovely thing, but because it is bulky because of the handle and stuff, you can get the butterfly handle ones now. You know, have a wire top and a butterfly handle. It just, I mean, that to pack, it's a bit awkward, really. But I do like it. You know, morale's an important thing on a trip. And if you can have your little luxuries, a hot chocolate in that, and, you know, it's a nice thing to have. So it just ties together, you know, just protects it a little bit. More protects the bag from the soot off the outside, you know, making things like my white snow smock filthy. So don't worry about not having loads of bags for things, because things in themselves could become bags. Like a sock can be used to stop your snow goggles getting scratched, or I can use this hat, you know, or something like that. I will be putting a lot of these things in dry bags, to be honest, just to keep it together nice. So I'm just going to loosely put the rest of my clothing that I'm not going to be, you know, wearing in the bag. Imagine these are in dry bags, say. Now, that's nearly everything. I can put my snowshoes on top if I want now. But always make sure, if you can, put the sharp edges together like that. It'll be bigger and harder to pack, but you could put that in the middle of your bag if you want, and go either side, you know, if you want to. I'll just get these tied up how I pack them. I think I'm just going to go this way for now because of the way I've packed the bag. You know, this part here will protect, you know, the inside of the bag. Like I say, I've had to order a new pair of these today. They're not cheap as well. I'm a bit gutted because I only paid £20 for these. It's a shame that they've gone brittle, but I think they're probably from the 1980s. Atlas genuinely are good snow shoes, to be honest. So I'll push that underneath there, pull it back there. Just check that we're fastened. Yeah. Right, we're nearly done, nearly done. That bag's a lot lighter than the other bag, so it'd be a good idea to swap some of the weight over. Do you know what I mean? Right, I'm thinking to myself now, rather than sticking this mucket in there, I could take this in my hand luggage. So I'll swap an item out from my hand luggage and put it in the bag. I think I'm going to try the mutlocks. They made the hand luggage a little bit weighty. I don't want to be carrying that around the airport. Yeah, very, very loose guide on packing your kit. There's still more items I need to get in here. I need to put my wash kit in. I need to put in my toilet kit, you know, my toilet rolls, things like that. I failed to mention I've got to get my belt kit in there as well. This is a snow brush, you know, brushing the snow off yourself when you're going in the tent. Make sure it doesn't melt into your clothing. This is a Sami sewing kit I made. And a little puku knife. And this belt are based on a Sami belt. And it's sheepskin on the inside, keeping my kidneys warm. But I'm just going to get this in the bag now. Forgot all about it, to tell you the truth. Got my mate Dave coming round shortly. We're going to have a catch up. He's just come back from Prague. Right. So there's the gear pretty much packed now, ready to go. Obviously a few more items, like I said. I can tweak it a bit. I can compact down the tent that's in there. I can compact down stuff into dry bags, move things around and get it, you know, get it packed better than that. But that's just a loose guide. There is an easier solution as well. I've done this before. Pay for another bag and have 3 bags. Sounds silly, but you can spread the gear out. The weight's going to be roughly the same, but spread it out over 3 bags. They're still going to fit on your toboggan. Your toboggan's about 9 foot long, so you can get 3 bags on and your hand luggage. Well, that's another option for you if you wanted to go that way. I'm going to light the log stove in a minute because it's bloody chilly in here. But because I've been moving around, it hasn't been too bad. But I'm going to light the log stove. Got a mate coming, Dave and Julie, hopefully. And we're going to talk about our trip. He's got some badges made for us. We get a badge made every year, and we always sew it on our snow smocks. Like a memory, you know, because I forget things half the time. But yeah, I'm going to tidy up. I hope you found this video useful. Like I say, it's a loose guide, mainly for the guys who are new to our trips, who are coming. It's so that they can watch it mainly. But also, if any of you out there are planning anything, it might come in handy for you. You might, you know, have a different technique of packing and do it a total different way. You might be going with a snowmobile or whatnot. But I just wanted to share with you what we do. But thanks very much. I'll see you next time.